Hello, everybody. Welcome to this live webinar. Today we'll be going over the eCommerce app. My name is Clark Stewart. I am the event manager here at Odoo San Francisco. And I just want to introduce the format of this event and our presenter today. I will be answering questions in the chat for the duration of the presentation. The presentation will be presented by Igor Cardoza, who is a customer engagement manager here at Odoo San Francisco. And he will have a chance to go over your questions in more detail at the end of his presentation, which should last for about a half an hour. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Igor, and he can introduce himself further.
All right, well, thank you so much, Clark, for that brief introduction. So again, hello everyone. My name is Igor Cardoza. I'm a customer engagement manager here at Odoo.com. I want to welcome you all to this presentation where I will show you how to maximize your online revenue with Odoo eCommerce. If this is your first time glancing at Odoo, then this is a great opportunity for you to acquaint yourself with Odoo. Odoo provides an all-in-one business solutions with a wide range of business applications. If you are already an existing customer using Odoo, then this is a great opportunity to revisit Odoo's website and e-commerce and even expand the applications that you're using today. In this presentation, we'll be looking at Odoo's website and how Odoo's integrate with e-commerce, the front end and features and all the configuration behind that. At the end, I'll create a new product in the system, and as a visitor, I'll purchase that product through Odoo's eCommerce, and we could see what happens in the back end. If you wish to use Odoo's website and eCommerce, the first thing you want to do is to install the apps. To do that, what you want to do is you could either go through Settings or click straight on Apps. And on this instance, I already have everything pre-installed. So you could see that I have my website that's already installed, and I also have eCommerce. There's a couple things that I want to set before I start this presentation, and I will explain at the end what consists all these additional options that I'm actually turning on. Basically, maybe I should actually talk about them right now. For this presentation, I do want to use the attributes and variants, so this is where you would actually install that feature of Odoo. So you go to Configuration, Settings, and then Attributes and Variants. So here you could set product attributes such as color, size, and cell variants on the website. This works on the back end, but everything that happens on the back end happens on the front end as well. So keep in mind that eCommerce, it's the front end of the back end sales application. The other attribute that I'm actually turning on right now, it's the discount program. This is a feature that it's available on Odoo Online SaaS 14, starting on SaaS 14. And it will be available for our customers that are actually on on-premises deployment on version 11. All right, so let me take a look if I'm missing anything over here. Oh, price list. This is where you could actually set up a price list according to each customer. So let me go ahead and install these. Okay. It should just take a few seconds. There's a part of it that I might want to discuss as well. So let's wait until everything installs. All right, so once it's installing, Odoo will ask to install a theme. And if I could probably talk a little bit what a theme is. Themes take the content and the typography and design elements using CSS. Excuse me. This includes menus, facets, and certain existing objects. So let's go ahead and choose one. And let me take a look here. We'll go ahead. Let's just install the treehouse. Now, these themes are free for our customers that are online, There's several themes that are authored by Odoo, and but if you're actually on an on-premise deployment, then you could purchase those themes off our apps store. So let's go ahead and install the treehouse. And here you could see that Odoo already designed the website. And you could see that there's no content. However, the menus are already carrying some sort of CSS and design, and you could see kind of the color scheme. All right, let's talk a little bit about with the website installation. I'm going to go back to the back end, and you will note once you actually install the website in eCommerce, you will note that you have two applications that are installed on the home page. So you can see that there's the website admin, and the other one would be the website. The website sends us back to the front end, to the page where we're at. Let's talk a little bit about the website admin, because this has to do with the whole management and reporting of the website. So here you have your dashboard. If you actually have Odoo linked to a Google Analytics account, then you would actually have that graph showing up over here. You could see the leads acquisition week. Basically, this has to do about the amount of leads that were generated through the website. We have a leads analysis that has to do with the tracking that we have on website. So you could actually set on pages, and I'll cover that. And here we could see the sales of the week. Basically, this is the performance of the website. So if you look up over here on the top ribbon, you have orders, unpaid orders, abandoned orders, and invoices. Orders are basically orders that were confirmed on the website. Unpaid orders could be, in this case, we'll probably process an unpaid order. And unpaid orders are basically maybe there's a wire transfer. So what Odoo does is that it sets the quote, but it doesn't confirm the order until a confirmation of that wire is received. Abandoned orders, it has to do with people that actually fill up their cart, and then they suddenly just drop out from the website and they decide not to purchase. So you have those abandoned orders, and you could see what people were actually trying to buy or something like that. If they're signed in, you should be able to see who those persons, who those visitors were. Invoices are the invoices that are created through the website. So once the order is confirmed, then you have the invoice. Here you have the catalogs, the products. These products, if you click on the products, for example, list all the products that are now published on the website. We have the price list, the promotional program. We have a coupon program, and again, this has to do with our newest release of SaaS. It's called SaaS 14. It's a feature that's available already online, not available yet for on-premises customers, but it will be available starting on version 11. I'm not going to be covering blogs, but keep in mind that Odoo has you could actually have a blog with your website, slides, form, and configuration. This is actually covered under a different webinar. So let's go ahead and let me go back and actually talk a little bit about this, because I think this is also important. Payment acquires. If you're actually engaged in e-commerce, Odoo supports all these acquires over here. So you have Authorize.net, you have Stripe, you have PayUmoney, and each one of them will offer a specific set of features. And you could see that some of them will have captures, and some are, you have a cart storage. This is mainly for if you're actually working with Odoo subscription. But mostly what you want to be looking at, it's the ones that are saying e-commerce. By far, I think we have a lot of customers currently using Stripe. Stripe is already embedded in Odoo, so the customers don't actually get redirected the same like the way you would actually redirect it with PayPal. All right, I'm going to go back to website, and here I'll be talking a little bit about the features, what's available on the website. Each page will offer you a set of features. So let's start with the main one. So if you actually hover over the top ribbon, you have these three menus over here. You have content, customize, promote. If you click on content, Odoo will offer you a way to edit the menus. And you could see that I have the menus home, shop, I could actually change the structure of those menus and actually make this menu a sub-menu of home and so on. I'm not going to change this for now. I could rename the page. I could delete pages. If we head on to, if we hover over customize, there's a couple things that are interesting over here. You actually have the option to show the logo, and the show the logo pertains to this logo over here. This is the logo that it's set on the company. You have the option to have the sign in, and the sign in will consist of customers being able to sign in on the website. So over here, I'm already signed in, so you could see that I have my account log out. Mainly people that are looking towards having, for example, customers logging into the system to get a specific price. Maybe there's you are in a business where you're going from B to B, and there's a discount program depending on that company. So once they log in, they already get that discount. So that could be one of the usage of having the sign in. The second one is if you actually have a customer and they want to look at their portal, then they could look at their portal and be able to download those sales orders, invoices. Maybe you're using Odoo for ticketing management, for support, for example. They should be able to actually see their support tickets. And we could take a look on portal right now. So right now I'm actually logged in as the administrator, but imagine that this was actually a user. So you could see that I have one quote over here, and I could go back to my account, or I could just click on one of the, hover over the top menu over here, and you could see that I have 23 orders, for example. So you could envision this as being a customer looking at your sales orders, invoices. You have projects as well, task issues, if this is related to ticketing management. So you have the whole set over here. I'm going to head back to the home page. All right, so we got the show sign in. The next one that we have, it's the footer. So basically, Odoo will actually put an automatic footer over here based on the information that's already existent on the back end. This is not turned on, but I'll go ahead and turn this on. I think right now the only payment method that I have available, at least installed, it's the wire transfer. And we should see this, the page will refresh, but you should see now that there's a payment method over here. All right, so let's move on. So we got these covered already. If we look out to the right side, and if we hover over the little kind of a mobile preview over here as well, so if you click, this should actually give you a preview of how your website would actually look on a mobile screen. From here, next to it, we have a new, and here there are many things you could do. You could start a new page. You could start a new blog, a new event, a new forum. If you're using Odoo HR, then you could actually make a new job offer available, and that will automatically create a job offer on the back end as well. You could start a new product, and that will automatically create the product on the back end as well. I'll quit this screen for now. Okay. And then you have edit, right? And the edit will bring the blocks, and this is the building blocks for Odoo. So if we need to actually create a page, this is a good way. So we could start, for example, with a cover, and then we could easily add a 3-column, for example. All this is editable. So let's go ahead and let's call this welcome to Odoo, and you could add it. Actually, there we go. You could change the color of the fonts if you need. There's some formatting over here. I can make it bold. I could delete if I need to. If I hover over, there's some customizations that you could do over here. There's pattern. There's several things that options that you could do on the website, and you have several building blocks over here that you could play with. Maybe I'll go ahead and add this one too. Latest post, if you actually have posts on the website. If you need to remove, you simply could remove it this way. All right, once that's done, you could save, and now you have a page already in Odoo. So you wait, okay, so now it's saved. All right, so this covers the website building blocks. As I mentioned, there's several of them. You click on edit, and you could see all of them over here. Let me go ahead and save. All right. A couple things to go back to customize. We also have an HTML editor. So if you click on HTML editor, you should be able to actually do your own edits over here as well. And probably change a little bit the CSS if you need. And you could do inline, for example. You can install apps. This is the same thing as going back to apps. And so on. We also have promote, and this has to do with optimizing your SEO. There's a couple things over here. There's a track this page and the optimize. If you click on optimize, Odoo will offer you a set of keys depending on the keyword that you're adding. So here, for example, I'll add a Raspberry Pi 3, and here you could see that Odoo is providing you additional keywords that could be important. And this is based on Google, so if you start actually writing Raspberry Pi 3, then you'll see that what people usually search for, it's Raspberry Pi 3 project. So it's just kind of some suggestions that Odoo is providing you. So I'll go ahead and maybe Kodi. This is a good one because usually we see a lot of people actually installing Kodis on the Raspberry Pi. And then you have your reference page. You could preview how this page will look on at Google, and you could save and so on. So I'll go ahead and discard for now. We also have the track this page. And track this page is if you want to create, for example, campaigns, and you want to deploy those campaigns on Facebook. You want to know what kind of traction you're getting from those campaigns. So this is a good way. So for example, I want to track this page, the home page, and find out create a Christmas special campaign, and I want to create a Facebook ad, and this will be the source will be Facebook. So I click on this, I generate the link, and then what you want to do is create that campaign and use that link at Facebook. And from there, you should be able to see the stats. I don't have any stats right now, but you would actually have the stats like a graph over here. Maybe I could actually try to at least do one stat. So bear with me for a second. Let me see. So I'm going to copy this track link. I'll open another tab, and I'll copy. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look on that. And you can see that now I have a click, right? So I use this link to access my homepage, and you can see that I have one click. All right, so let me go back to the website. So I'm going to go back to home. The next step we want to do is that I want to show you, it's the shop. So the shop, it's really your e-commerce. And here there are several switches that we could play with. And you could see that there's a whole list over here. The show logo, which I already covered, show sign in, the automatic footer. So you have the option to remove that. To have the payment showing on the bottom, right? So this little icon over here. The website search box has to do with the result query, basically a number of items that you got from searching a specific keyword. So I'll go ahead and turn that on, and the page is going to refresh itself. And here we could search, for example, for, let's do iPad. And you could see that Odoo found 2, right? So it has to do with this number over here, and that's what that little show number found switch does. We have the product description. We have the add to cart right now, so I'll go ahead and turn that product description. You should see a description popping up over here. And this is the information. You could set the description on the back end as well as over here. But let's go ahead and customize. Click on the customize ribbon. I also want to turn on that add to cart, and I'll show you what the add to cart is. let me do this just so we could get all the products back. All right, so the add to cart is basically a shortcut. Instead of actually clicking on the product and then clicking add to cart, it's a shortcut that will automatically add that product already to my cart. So you could see that it's already sitting on my cart. So I'll go back to continue shopping. It's more of a usability. We have the show sort by, has to do with this button. You could either have that or remove. So there's all these switches are really just adding new features in the e-commerce. We have our product categories and product attribute features. This will add a facet on the left side of the screen, and this is great for customers that are actually trying to find a specific category or a specific set of attributes for a specific product. So I'll go ahead and turn that on. You could see that I have those. I have the categories. Let me go ahead and turn on the attribute filter, and you should see that as well. I think I have attributes such as size and color, for example, and here you see that. An important one is that sometimes we have customers that they have so many categories, so many attributes, and sometimes they wish to have something like a collapsible category list. So by doing that, you kind of shrink, and then you focus more on what the customer is actually looking. So you can see that now it's reduced. And as I actually click on another category that has several subcategories, then the other one will be automatically removed or collapsed, I should say. We have customers that don't actually like the grid view, and some customers actually prefer the list view. So here's a switch that will make all the grid view become a list view. So let's see how that would look. Great. So here you could see that now everything is listed. And you could look at the second page. You could conduct searches. So all these are examples of features in the e-commerce website. You see that some products are actually unpublished, and that means that these products are not available to be purchased on the website. Only the ones that are showing published are the ones that are available to be sold on the website. All right, so if we're here now, what we could do is, since we already covered all these little switches over here, why don't we actually navigate a little bit to the product page? So if you're on the product page, Odoo will offer you a couple more features, and you could see that we have a discussion rating, and a discussion rating will add a review rating on the product page, and you could see it's over here. And then if customers wish to add a review, they could do so from here. Let me go ahead and we have the list view of variants. It all depends how you're using this. I usually let customers know to either use the normal variant or just the list variant. And this is just because sometimes it could be a little bit confusing. So for example, if I add the variant over list view at variant, then you're going to have the variant on top, but you have the other variant on the bottom as well. And this is the combination. So I'll turn that off for now. Okay. There's a couple things that I wish to show you on this page, because we actually have a good strategy if you're trying to upsell products, for example, or offer additional options for each product. And what I'll do is I'm going to use the iPod as an example, and I'll go to the back end, and we're going to change a couple settings in Odoo. So I'll click on sales. You could access the products from different places. You could go to sales products, or if you're on using Odoo 10 and above, then you could just type the word product, and that will provide you the a shortcut. So here I have products. I'm searching for that iPod, for example. And what I want to do is to add a couple options, alternative products, and things like that. So here, there's a couple settings related to website. So we have the website category. We have alternative products. So maybe people that are searching for iPod, Maybe a good alternative could be an iPad mini, for example. And maybe I'll put the other one too. So now I have the iPad Retina display. I have accessories, which is cool. If someone's buying the iPad, maybe they want to buy the Apple in-ear headphone. And I'll go ahead and save that. Okay, now what I'll do is I'm going to use a shortcut over here so you can see that this product is actually published. If I wish to unpublish this product, I could do so by clicking on publish, and then it's going to route me back to the website, and I could unpublish this way. So now it's unpublished. Visitors would actually not see this product, but let's go ahead and make it published. I could edit the product if I need to. So I'm going to go back to the edit page. And you could see that I have variants for this product, for example. So here I have a 16 and I have a 32 gigs. If the 32 gigs is a little bit more expensive, I could actually add an extra price for that. So for example, maybe this is maybe it's just not $6.40. Maybe it's $50. It costs $50 additional to buy the 32 gigs versus the 16 gigs. So I'll go back to the iPod. All right, and now we're going to go back to the website. So there's a shortcut, but I want to start from the beginning. Right here. So I could go back to my cart. My cart's still here. But this time I actually want to continue shopping. So I'll look at the iPod again. And here you have the entire page. We have the alternative products over here. If you feel that this page is too big and you want to shrink and make something more simple, it could be done. And the way you would do this is we could start, for example, removing some of these. So we could click and just remove. However, if you want to do kind of a website, maybe a product page that it's more eye-catching, you want to add a few more pictures and images and talk a little bit about the product inside the product page. I'll remove all this and I'll save. Maybe I'll just remove the discussion rating as well. And here, now I have the iPod. There's the alternative products over here. There's iPad mini, and there's the iPad Retina display. What I could do now is let's go ahead and add to cart, and you could see that I have the memory. We could change the way this is selected. Right now we're using radio buttons, but it could be a selectable field as well. So I'll go ahead and add. And you could see that I got my iPod over here, and you could see that there's a suggested accessories over here, and that has to do with the headphones that I was talking about. So I'll go ahead and keep this for now. This way, let's go ahead and add. Okay, so it's been added. Now I have my total of $142. Now, if you hover over back to customize, for every page you always have like additional settings. So there's a couple of things over here. We could an extra step, and I'll show you this. And you could see that an extra step is going to be added. Now we have 4, and now we have 5. So there's 5 steps now, and it added this extra info over here. Another thing that I may want to consider, and again, this is available on version on SAS 14. It's already available for our online customers. It's the coupon code. Maybe there's a discount for this, whenever I purchase products. And what I'll do is I'm going to jump back to the back end so we could talk a little bit about the coupons. And then we'll resume back with the purchase of the iPod. Okay. So if you go to the sales application, and if you hover over configuration, there are several settings over here. What I'm mostly interested is the promotion program and coupon program. Another way to access those menus is by going to the website admin, and under catalog, you're going to have the same items. So here I could create a promotional program. It's very dynamic. There's a lot of criteria that you could select. You could make it include the public users. Public users are are the visitors, the unidentified users that are visiting your website. And there's several things. You could make the promo code usage automatically. You could use the code. You could apply on the current order. There's several things you could select. You could change things from a percentage or a fixed amount on the discount. Maybe it's a $10 off when you buy a minimum of $100. Maybe it's just a 10% discount when you buy at least $100. So there's several things. You could set up a max discount. You could make it available for the first 10 orders. So there's several things you could do with a promotional program. The coupon program, it's very similar in a way that the coupon program, it's more reserved, which means that you actually create the discount and then you generate the coupon codes, and then you provide those coupon codes to maybe 10 of your top customers. Here what I'll do is I'll create a quick one. So let's go ahead and create a coupon called favorite customers. And what I'll do is I'll just use maybe it's a 20%. Actually, not a 20%. Let's go ahead and do a fixed amount. We'll do $20 off. I'll just make it simple. I'll go ahead and save. I could have generated a quantity and so on. So let's go ahead and generate these coupons. And I'll generate probably 5 coupons. And Odoo will auto-generate those coupons. And you can see that now I have 5 coupons. I'll go ahead and copy one of those coupons. So I'll select that. And what I'll do is I'll go back to the website and I'll try to use that coupon and get a discount. But you could have used the promotional program as well and set a code. For example, a lot of companies use, for example, if you're on a Black Friday, and if you type Black Friday deals, for example, and people would actually get a specific discount. So I'll go to my cart, and I'll apply my coupon. Maybe I miscopied the coupon. Make sure. Yeah, but basically, let me go back and try to run that coupon again. What I'll do is I'll create another coupon as well. Promotional program. All right, so let me make sure I'm doing this right. Okay. So go back to my website now. I want to use this coupon on the transaction. try to apply this. Oh, there's a space over here, and that's why. Oh, that's why it's failing. Let me use the other one. There we go. So you can see that I got my 10% discount, and I apply the Black Friday discount. The other one, it's because when I copy, it's actually inserting a few spaces at the beginning. So I could go to my process, my checkout, for example. And here I have my billing address, shipping address. I could add additional addresses. We'll check to see if there's any customization. You can see there's really not any customization when it comes down to this. I'll go ahead and confirm. And this is going to jump to the extra info that I turned on during the checkout process. And maybe I want to, and this could, I mean, customers are using this in a different way. It could be the reference of the of my PO. Maybe I'll say my PO 123. Give a feedback. Maybe I need to attach a document. It would probably not be used for a transaction like this where I'm purchasing iPods. But what if it's something custom and I want to add a picture, or maybe you sell cakes, for example, and I wish to add such information such as happy birthday, Clark, for example. So there's different ways you could use this, especially for custom. Maybe I want to choose a file, could choose a file and upload, and that will show under the sales quote. I'll go ahead and click next. And now I'm actually at the payment. And here I could actually click on customize. I could actually edit my own terms and conditions. I'll go ahead and add that. And then right now I only have the wire transfer. So I agree with the terms and conditions. You could edit the terms and condition that gets sent to another page. I'll go ahead and pay now. Okay, so at this point, it's pending. The order will be validated after payment. This means that if I'm doing a wire transfer in this case, then once I receive that wire transfer, then I could go ahead and confirm the order. So the order is not confirmed. In fact, it created an order SO029. So let's go ahead and take a look on that. So we'll go to sales. We'll go to quote. And here's my order. So I was logged in as the administrator, and that's why it's using this customer information. But here you could see that I got my product. It added the discount. There was some delivery charges, or actually went for free. The payment acquired was a wire transfer. The transaction is not confirmed. Let's say the customer actually wired me the $132.50, then I could just come over here and confirm the order. And now the order is confirmed. And if I want to create an email and say your order is confirmed, we received your payment, you could create your own template and send that template to the customer, just confirming that order. All right, so go ahead and cancel. So I went over the website and e-commerce. Now, there's what I wanted to do is to show mass mailing, because there's a part of it that's very semantic to a website. And if you wish to create, for example, your own mass mailing, you could see that the way you would actually build those mass mailing are very semantic to the website. So you have the building blocks over here, and you could just drag and drop as you go, and then you could edit each of the blocks, and you could change, and there's several things that you could do over here. Once you have those mailings ready, you save. And there are several things you could do. You could send it to, it all depends how you want to use this mass mailing, if you're sending it to applicants, but there's a few options over here. You could send to applicants. In this case, Odoo will provide you a filter to filter those applicants. It could be leads and opportunities. Maybe you want to send to several leads and opportunities. Your existing customers, mailing contacts. You could actually import mailing contacts in Odoo and use those as list. And over here, you could see that I could select a mailing list. And the way you would actually import that information is through the mailing list over here. You could create your own mailing list. So for example, new list. And from here, I could actually import my contacts. Most importantly, name and emails. Once you send the emails, there's a whole analytics behind that. And here you could see the result. So this was basically a mailing that was sent, email sent, received, emails that were opened, replied, clicks, bounced, and so on. So very semantic, at least on the part where you're actually building those email campaigns. What I want to do now is create a new product and just kind of show you how you would actually launch a new product in your e-commerce website. So to do this, the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to go, like I mentioned, there's several ways to actually access the product menu. And here I'll launch a new product. And for this product, what I'll do is I'll call it Raspberry. So it's a Raspberry Pi 3 with case. All right. So this product can be sold. This product could be purchased. I'll make it a stockable product. And this means that I could either stock this product or I could just make it in a way that it's make to order. And in this case, that's what I'll do. I don't actually stock that product. I still make it stockable, but the reordering rules will always be 0, and I'll always get 1 whenever I sell it. So I'll go ahead and save it. And what I'll do is I'll create a couple variants for this product. And since it includes a case, I'll create a color for each of those cases. So let me see, clear. I'll create so there's a white over here already. I'll use this. I'll use a black. And I think, yeah, that's enough. 3 of them. Let's go ahead and save. Right now, this product, it's still not yet published. I usually get this product from a vendor, and I got this product from AssisTech. And of course, you could set up the minimum quantity. In this case, I'm just going to make it simple. It's $20 when I get it. The sales price of that product, the customer lead time, I'll set it at 5. That's the time that it takes to actually get to the customer. Let me see a couple more information I would like. Of course, the sales price. Let's say we're selling this at $50. I'll go ahead and save. So we have a few variants. So you can see the variants over here. Now, if I wish to actually add an image for each of the variants, I could do so. And I actually downloaded a few images prior to this presentation. So let me see, this would be the white color. So I'll go ahead and select this one. I'll save. And it actually added white for all of them, but then I could edit. And this is actually the black color. Okay. Save. And now I'll also add the clear color. All right, so I have all 3 of them, each one with their respective color case. I'll go back to the product variants. There's a couple things that I need to do. I want this to be automated. So once this is sold, I want it to automatically create a purchase order under AssisTech. So the next thing I need to do is to set up reordering rules. So we need to set up for each one of them. This is because there are cases where you might actually purchase each of those products from different vendors. So I'll go ahead and set up for the white. Okay, the white is created. Let's set up for the black. And so I got the white, the black, and I think I'm missing the clear one. There we go. All right, so I got my reordering rules set. Now, the next step, excuse me, is to make this product published on the website. So right now, people can't really see it, but I could publish it. An extra setting that you might be interested in, and let me just go back and look at those variants. If you look at the variant, there are different objects that you could choose. So on color, for example, I could change the type. I could have radio button. I could have like a selectable field, which means that it's a drop down with the colors. I could have the colors, or I could have things hidden. In this case, I'm just going to use a color because it makes more sense. I'll go ahead and clear is just clear. So there's no color for that. Let's go ahead and look at that product again that's published on the website. So here I have white. This could actually throw people off with the clear one. So maybe what I'll do is I'll make this a drop down actually instead of the color. And that way you could see how I could actually change the type of the variants. And I'll go to color. And I'll use a selectable field drop down. I'll save it. And now if I go back to the website, you could see now that I have a drop down. So I could select the clear, I could select the black, I could select the white. I don't have a big image, but I could, if I hover over, I could zoom on the picture as well. I'll go back to edit. I'll add a few more things. Maybe I want to do a little bit of an upsell and cross-sell strategy. Maybe the person may not buy a Raspberry. They might be actually interested in purchasing a computer. So I'll go ahead and add maybe they want to add what they really want is a PC. So I'll add the PC computer. Let me see other things that I could add. Maybe an iMac. Maybe some interesting accessory would be a keyboard. So it doesn't come with a keyboard, but we could, for example, add a keyboard as an accessory. And that's kind of a cross-sell strategy right there. So I'll go back to publish website. And now you could see that I have some alternative products to that Raspberry Pi. And if I add to cart, for example, the white one, I now have a suggested accessory. So I'll go ahead and add to cart. I'll process checkout. I'll just keep this as an address and my billing. So I'll confirm. I'll just leave the extra step like that. In this case, maybe I didn't want to actually have that extra step, but I could easily turn it off by switching it off on the under customized. So let's go ahead and process this. Excellent. So we got sales order 030. So let's go ahead and take a look on that order. If you wish to configure your transfer details, customers would actually see the wire transfer details. That way, they don't have to call you. So they could print their order, but let's go back to Odoo again and check sales order 30. Here I got we have a quote. It's not. We're still waiting for that transfer, so this order is really not actually confirmed. But what I'll do is I'll go ahead and confirm this order, and you will see that Odoo will take care of procuring the order. So we already have a delivery order, right? And I'll recheck availability, and right now it's not available. So we'll go ahead and see the procurement of this order. So let me go look at the procurements. And we can see that a purchase order was actually created. And if I actually click on this purchase order, so this is kind of a shortcut where you could get it, but it's purchase order 009. So if I actually go back to Odoo, I could actually access that document. I could simply start typing purchase. And then we're looking for this purchase order, quotation 9. And you could see Asus Tech right over here. And you could see that the Pi, the Raspberry Pi 3 with case white, it's already here. We already have the keyboard, so we don't actually, the keyboard is already in stock. However, the Raspberry Pi, we don't actually have anything in stock. You might be asking, well, what is that RAM? Well, what Odoo does is if there's already a request for quotation that needs to be sent to the vendor and it's still not yet confirmed, what Odoo will do is that it will merge all orders into one order. That way, you don't have to send multiple orders to your vendor. So basically, this RAM SR5 belongs to another order. But since you're creating one bulk of an order, why not just merge everything and just send it once? So that's what Odoo is doing. So once that's done, I could confirm this order. I will send the purchase order by email. So you could send it by email. I don't have anything configured over here, so this is not really a real vendor, but I would actually send, so you can envision that it's sent. Then, if someone is working on your warehouse, they would actually receive that product, and they would go to their list, and they would identify which order that pertains to. So here, I'll go ahead and validate, and you could see that this product is available now. I'll go ahead and apply. So all this is covered under a different webinar, but I just want to at least complete this flow. And now we did receive our Raspberry Pi. We should actually have a delivery order waiting, and there's different ways you could access that. You could go to your inventory, or you could go to the sales orders, for example, and look at that. So let's check both ways. So we got sales order number 30 over here. We got the delivery. You could see that it went from waiting availability, and now it's actually the product's available. If I need to check this warehouse, just take a look over here, company delivery orders. So if I'm working on the warehouse, let me just type inventory. So I have to do some delivery orders over here. And let me just see here. Delivery. I believe it's this warehouse. No. It's the other one. Here. So we have the source document over here. So this was the source document was sales order number 30. And you could see that it's the same document. So I could validate that I'm sending this to the customer. So we'll transfer, and the delivery is done. All right, so I think I'm going down my outline over here. I think we reached the bottom. What I want to do is, I think it was a little bit over 30 minutes, but I do want to allow a couple folks to ask some questions and see how I could best assist them. So let's go ahead and open a Q&A session at this point.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Igor. So I will just read off the questions that people have asked. I've been recording them here, and then you can go ahead and answer them. So the first question we got was, can we make a sub menu? This was back in the beginning when just simply editing your website's top bar.
At this point, there's not a way to add a... Basically, you're trying to add a hierarchy of submenus on the website. It's something that it's on our pipeline to be developed, but at this point, you could only achieve that through customization. So okay. It's not something that it's standard out of the box, but it's something that eventually, maybe Odoo 11 will have a hierarchy of menus on the website.
Great, thanks, Igor. Second question is it possible to easily migrate a PrestaShop store to Odoo?
Very subjective when it comes down to easily. It depends on well, actually, are we migrating data or you're just trying to migrate the website? If you're trying to migrate the website, I wouldn't say that you want to migrate. What you want to do is to build your own pages. Now, if we're talking about the data, it all depends how that data is actually structured. We constantly deal with a lot of importing data migration over here, whether it's NetSuite or Magento or PrestaShop. But it depends really how that data is structured. We have cases where customers have several variances of the product. There's a price structure for each one of them. So it's something we could adjust. It's something we do here in Odoo. But whether it's going to be easy or not, it's a question on how much you know about Odoo's data structure and how the models work and how you're going to be able to kind of adjust in case there's some sort of discrepancy between the data. So kind of merging cells and things like that and make it importable. And then it all depends as well if you're trying to import just the products. Maybe you're trying to import customers as well. There's price lists. So it's one of those long questions that it really depends how much data you need to import and how that data is currently structured.
Pete Bibby, excuse me if I'm mispronouncing your name, but it looks like you've offered some clarification here. How can we easily import attributes and products so we can easily add combinations? We have about 50 products with roughly 6 to 10 variations for size and material, etc.
One way would be to, what I see some customers do is that they create one single product and they export that one single product, and from there they actually try to adjust the data structure using that file that they exported outside Odoo. So what I mean is, for example, let me see over here. I will go to sales. I'll go to product variants, for example. And probably what I'll do is I'll export one of the products. And then it depends how you want to map everything. If you're working with one of our consultants here, they can actually provide you a template that's already pre-made. And from there, you could actually just kind of populate all the cells, and then we could go ahead and import that information over. But one way is that you could do is you could export maybe a couple products, and from there, you could see which information you're going to need to populate. What's important when you're doing the export before I even export is to check the required fields. Usually required fields will have this kind of bolded line, underline over here. This means that you cannot import a file without having that information. For example, the name of the product is very important. We need to know if it's the product type. We need to know the internal category. I don't think these are actually required, but they might be as well. And you could actually hover over and kind of see if there's any additional information. So it is possible, and here I'm just going to try to export some of these products so you could see, and I'll probably add a couple, maybe the cost, let me see if I could get the product name, for example. So you could see that some information is already underlined, and that means that it's an information that's important. So I'll just export. It's not the ideal template. I mean, the template would actually have additional attributes, but at least you could see how the data is formatted inside Odoo. If you're working with one of our consultants here at Odoo, they already have templates that they could provide you, and from there you could just populate them. So what's important is that you don't want to use, oops, hold on, I don't think this is, I'm using a different computer. Just 1 second, because I need to accept a license over here. Let me export this again. Okay. Okay, it stayed this time. And you could see how everything is actually set in Odoo. And you could see that you would actually discard this ID if you're importing new products. Otherwise, it's just going to replace the products that are associated to those IDs. And you can see that I have the standard price, I have the name, I have the category. So you kind of want to follow this type of structure, and then just import your products. So it depends how your products how you're being able to export those products outside the other system.
Okay, just moving down the list in chronological order here. What about volume discounts and discount vouchers? This was asked near the beginning when you were talking about
Okay.
the discount program.
It is possible. So if we go back to sales, and so there's a couple things because sales coupons changed a few things in Odoo, and one thing that I didn't talk about was the price list, for example. So if customers are if the person is required, if you're in a B2B business and the person is required to sign in, then you can actually identify who that person is and assign a price list to it. So you could assign a price list, right? So for example, here's a price list, but you could have several price lists. And from the price list, you could set up a specific discount that has to do with quantity. That's one way to do it. Let me take a look over here. Just let me see what I'm doing here. Group countries. Okay, I don't have the setting. The setting is it uses a different configuration. It's price computed with formulas. So you want to have this. If you want to use the price list, that means that once a customer or whoever the visitor is identifies themselves, then a specific price list with a specific rule and criteria would apply to them. That's one way. The other way would be by using the coupons. And let me just go back just so you could see the price list. So let me take a look. Maybe I could just access the price list from here. Let's use this USD, for example. And you could see there's a minimum quantity. So you could have all different quantities, for example. So you could say, well, it's a 5% when there's a minimum quantity of 5. So that's one way. It's very similar with the depending on if you're using the promotional program and the or the coupons. And what you want to do is there's a minimum quantity over here somewhere. Apply on the first 3 quantity. Let me just try to remember where this shows. It might be under coupons. So let me take a look over here. Purchased. I believe, I have to look, but I believe this quantity over here, minimum required products quantity to get rewarded. Yeah. So this is so in order to get the reward, basically Odoo calls this program a reward. So in order for this to qualify, you have to purchase, for example, 5. But in that case, what you want to do is you want to select a product. So I need to think a little bit about that. If you want to send me an email, I thought I set this up before, but I can't remember if it was using the promotional program. And let me just take a quick look over here. The quantity 5, because there's a minimum purchase. Yeah, I have to think. But one way would be with the price list. Now, with using this, it's same minimum quantity, so I think you would actually set it this way. But then what you would do is if you want to apply to a specific product, then instead of selecting the discount apply on, then what you want to do is to select on specific products. So I could, for example, put on the Raspberry Pi, maybe the white one. And I could set up a minimum discount, and then only when they actually purchase 5, they would actually get a 10% discount. But I still need to validate. I think this quantity over here means it's the minimum quantity that this reward would actually apply.
Okay, great. Moving on to the next question. Francisca asks, where do you configure the taxes?
Where that's okay. So let me discard. Before, and I'll make this simple. If you're using Odoo nowadays, we have something that it's called Text Cloud. I'm not going to cover the configuration of Text Cloud, but if you're concerned about am I charging the right tax, or how do I actually import all that? What we'll do is automate it now on version, I believe 10 or SAS 14, and maybe some flavors of the versions between 9 and 10. So we already have something that's called Tax Cloud, and what I advise you to do, it's because Odoo will take care of all the tax. You don't have to worry about where to import. But if you want to deal with the whole taxation, what do you do? The place you would set it up, it's under accounting. I'll show you where you could read more about Text Cloud. So under accounting, you have the taxes over here. And this is where you would actually set up your sales taxes and so on. Depending if you're really dealing with e-commerce, most of our customers they're using Text Cloud. And if you go to Google, and I don't remember exactly the place that talks about that, but we do have a documentation. We'll do documentation right over here. So we'll do Text Cloud, first link. And Odoo talks about how to set up the tax category, and there's several things that you need to take into account when you're talking about tax, especially in e-commerce where what you charge towards one state or county or city is different than what you would charge someone else.
Great, thanks, Igor. Moving on to the next question, Laura asks, under the promotion option, I don't see the track this page menu. Why is that?
Promotion option. I'm not sure what would be the promotion option in this case.
Let's see. Laura, could you offer a little clarification there on what you mean by that, if you're still in the chat? In the meantime, we'll just move on to the next question. Okay. Aze asks, is it possible to set up multiple store websites?
No, it's something that we're working on. I want to say partially yes, but I'm going to say no because most customers want to probably set up with different products. They want to have a shop that it's different. At this point, it's not possible, but we're working with something. Right now, we have something that it's being developed by our United States R&D. Hopefully, we could get that ready on version 11. It is something that it's on that we're aiming. That it's hoping that we could get that up with the release of version 11.
Thanks, Igor. Moving on to the next question, the Road Marking Company asks, how can I edit my company logo in a quotation and invoice? I answered that briefly in chat.
What did you answer?
What did I say? I said in the general settings, under edit your company data, you can modify it.
Yep, that's correct. And what you want to do is you want to go to settings, and let me take a look because companies, for example. I think I'm using a demo company. I can't remember which company I'm logged in, but you could see that there's a logo over here. So you could edit the logo from here. And I could make my logo now a Raspberry Pi. Let me see if the other one I could. Right now, I'm actually set up on a multi-company environment. So, and I'm not sure which company I'm logged in. But for example, if I go back to the website, didn't change. Hold on. Is it a refresh? Let me take a look over here. Email me. I don't remember. I remember that I changed it before. I just can't remember how it's done. Yeah, if you want to send me an email, my email is ica@odoo.com. I think, just make sure. I think it's just a matter of the system refresh. It may take some time for the system to refresh and for that to take place.
Okay, moving on to the next question. Mark has asked about purchase process customization. Does that apply to all products or just the current product?
What's the question again?
Mark, can you, if you're still here in the chat, offer us a little bit of context on that? The purchase process customization and whether or not that applies to all products or just to the current product. And in the meantime, we'll just move on to the next question. Let's see, that was Pete asking about taxes again, so I think we answered that question. And let me just check in the chat here some more. Bob Winchester asks, can I do different pricing for different customers, and how complicated can I get?
It's not too complicated. Yeah, so what you want to do is to have as many pricing structure and set up the price list. And then every time you have, so for example, Agrolay may belong to a specific price list. So for example, once you create all the price lists, maybe he belongs to the Christmas price list, and the Christmas price list will have a specific rule. In this case, I think there's 20% discount on every product, and you always have to end up with all products because maybe this was just one single product. But that's basically it, and then you got to make sure that every time you have that customer, that you assign a specific price list, and they're required to sign in. That's one way. Now, another way that I've seen a few customers using, if they don't want to use price list and make something simple, is you could probably assign a coupon to them, maybe create a coupon where they always use that code, and at checkout, they would actually get a discount. That could be a different way. The problem with that is that you could get other people to use the same coupon, for example, in case they actually have that. So, for example, if we go back to coupons, there are two different ways you could set it up. You can make the coupon reusable. Let me just see over here. I think I have to create a new one just because this one's already created. Oh, I know why. One second, because there's additional menus that I'm missing over here. Let me just see over here. Yeah, I may have some. Let me take a look. I might have not installed all the modules, but let me try to access a different environment over here, because I know that on this other environment, everything is installed. Just one second. Let me take a look, because I swear that I've seen that before, that you can make a coupon reusable. Sales okay, validation. Maybe it's in the promotional program. Let me take a look. I'll have to take a look if I'm missing any code, but through the promotion program, you should be able to do, because you could define your own code and give that code out to your customer in this case, or you could actually apply the pricing list, the price list to the customer, which means that they would be required to sign in. In this case, they're not required to sign in. They could just use the code, and then the discount will be calculated.
Great, thanks, Igor. Let's get back to Mark's question. He's offered us some clarification here. So again, purchase process customization, does that apply to all products or just the current product? He means when you added this extra step to the checkout price process. Is that enough clarification, or do we need anything else from Mark?
Repeat that again. Let me see the question. When you added the extra step, the checkout price. So, if I understand this well, it's adding an amount to the checkout. I'm still not very clear. Maybe what you want to do is maybe I should actually share my email over here. I'll just make it visible on a Word document.
I'll drop your email in the chat too, Igor.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do that. And then maybe we could have a schedule call, and then you could tell me a little bit more what you're trying to do. That way it's more clear.
Okay, great. Thanks, Igor, and sorry about that, Mark, but we will get your question answered. Moving on to the next question, Pete asks, are there categories for products so you can assign rules to categories rather than at the individual product level?
And what I would say no, but what I want to do is to understand better what you're trying to achieve. Maybe there's a couple things that we want to do. Maybe you want to provide me the use case, because then I'll probably understand better what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, Pete, if you could just drop a use case in the chat, we could go into more detail there. Bob Winchester asks, can I have the website automatically associate a customer with a price list, say with a sign-up process and a password?
Well, everything is possible. First of all, in Odoo, but it's a matter if can we do it using the standard out-of-the-box features. I would say standard out-of-the-box, no, but with a server action, we could actually get the price list assigned as soon as the person signs up. And then you could create all sorts of rule. Maybe it's a city, maybe it's a state, maybe there's something that they identify during the sign-up process that we could run that server action. That server action would automatically add a price list to the customer.
Thanks, Igor. Aze asks, is there a script for automated repeated actions?
Which repeated actions?
That's a great question. Aze, could you drop a use case in? What do you want to automate? It's possible to automate many things in Odoo.
Yeah, and if you're actually dealing with, for example, and I'm not sure which actions you mentioned, but one thing you could do is, let me go to debug mode over here really quick. This is a little advanced. I prefer not to talk too much about this, but we have automated actions that you could create over here. And in that model, for example, you could set up your own server action and then have that server action or that automated action execute at a certain time or based on a specific action. So there's several things you could do. This start getting a little technical. So there's that. There's let me take a look over here. There's scheduled actions, for example, and that's when you could actually make an action execute, for example, every 30 minutes, every day. The other one is more like a result of something. But again, this is a little bit advanced.
Thanks, Igor. Yeah, that is indeed outside the scope of this webinar, but you can always send us an email if you have more questions about that. Moving on to the next question, Pete has offered us a use case, some clarification regarding categories for products so that you can assign rules to categories rather than at the individual product level. Say you have categories on your homepage, for example, iPads, MacBooks, accessories. I think that question is about what kind of rules, Pete? Oh, I see. So you want to only apply a discount to accessories but not to specific accessories. You're talking about applying a price list to a whole product category?
Okay. It is possible in that case. And I'm trying to think now because I had some uncertainty already in coupons. I'm not sure if I'm missing some settings over here. I believe I'm going to go back to the coupon because I just want to check something over here. Because there's definitely based on products. So I'm thinking maybe you could select, for example, a category to that product. It's something I would actually have to investigate, but you could. I know you could set up on the products. I know with the price list you could do. You could set up if you go to price list, for example. Let me see price list right over here. I believe with coupons it's also possible. And let me create a new.
Igor, I don't think you've enabled the advanced price list option in that database yet.
That's what I'm thinking. Because I'm missing something over here. And where is it? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I did it with the other one. Okay. Let's take a look. And there's a shortcut over here. Or maybe I'll just create. So if I edit, I could actually apply a price list at the global level, or maybe at a product category. In this case, I select the category that I want to apply. I could do it at a specific product or even the product variant. And then you could apply whatever rules you want. So with the minimum quantity, maybe there's a start date, an end date. And for example, in this case, it would be a category. And then you could provide, and then there's a whole formula that you could work with over here. I believe that it's possible as well with the coupons, but I would actually have to play a little bit more with coupons. It's still a very new development. This just got released about a month ago. And so I believe it's also possible over here by setting up a condition. And we have it on the cheapest, we have it at the specific product. So probably it's not possible with coupons because you would actually have to execute with each product. But if you want to do with a price list, it would work.
Bob Winchester here has a follow-up question about price lists, talking about how his customers are associated with teams, and he'd like to associate a price list with the team. Do you know if it's possible to link a price list to a sales team?
Okay, so we're talking about his internal sales team in this case. So the price list is set for the customer. Now, one thing you could do, and I would actually have to, again, it's a big system, so I have to remember how these things work. I could try to make, for example, a price list associated to a specific user, for example. I'm not sure if I could do it with a team, but let's go ahead and try it. Let me think over here. So I'll make this. And let me try to remember how this works. Set defaults. Price list. I believe sales channel has to do with my team. I'll have to actually check. But I could do only you or all users. So let me see this condition. And let me see how sales team. We could do it with the sales channel, and I think we renamed this. It used to be called sales team, but now it's sales channel. So if this works, it might be the answer that you're looking for.
Great, thanks, Igor. That was my feeling about how that would work as well. Let's see. I think there was one more question. Sorry, just let me comb through the chat here. Mark asks about recommended alternative products. Can you automate, for example, with some intelligent script, to select products to display as alternative products based on the customer's behavior? And I'll just highlight that question in the chat so you can read it, Igor.
I think with a server action, but you would still have to define rules. Out of the box, there's nothing, and I think I have a good understanding of what you're trying to achieve. And it all depends how dynamic you want, because if you want to get very dynamic, then you could actually get to the point that you could talk about, well, based on the amount of clicks, based on user experience on the website, maybe, I mean, there's several rules that you could apply. Out of the box, there's not a way. You would you could actually achieve that with a server action. But what are you measuring? What is the rule behind? It's where that server action would actually have to be developed based on that specific rule that you're looking for.
Thanks again, Igor. That looks like the end of all the questions, and we're actually about a half an hour over time here, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I really want to thank you all for coming out today. We appreciate you coming out and talking with us. And again, if you have any questions that need answering that you think of after the fact, please go ahead and send Igor an email. I will drop his email in the chat in just a minute here. And thank you all so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, guys. All right, have a good day.